Established 221 ATM route, generating 424,000 of annual cash flow. That's funny.
How many people do you think are employed by this business?
Like maybe 1.5 or 2?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But from an HVAC perspective, like I would need at about a 10% to do 4.5 million in revenue. It's so much more difficult than dropping off cash once a week.
But there's some business models out there that run like at 50, 60% free cash. Like, what am I doing with my life?
Welcome back to JackQuisitions. Today we have the man behind the curtain, the myth, the legend, John Wilson.
This is great. This is good. I been on JackQuisitions maybe one time.
Yeah, once. It's good. It's good to be back in studio with you.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, this is I'm glad to be back. I'm ready to talk some deals. I'm ready to talk some acquisitions. I'm ready.
So today I'm very excited because we have 2 acquisitions that we're going to break down with you. And I feel like you're going to really like them. So, I mean, let's jump into it.
Yeah.
What I'm hoping to get out of this is I'm hoping that you are going to go out and buy this business after we're done.
Okay. I'm glad that we're setting expectations.
Probably one of the most important decisions you can make in your ETA journey is which SBA lender you are going to pick. A lender who will be in your corner to get you closed on the deal, as well as set you up for future expansion. That is why we partnered with Alan Peterson from First Internet Bank. He and his team take a how can we approach, as well as I personally know they specialize in home service acquisitions. Mention the show or my handsome bald head and receive a reduced good faith deposit, as well as a detailed deal review and maybe even a buy-side pre-qualification. No strings attached. Head on over to alanfib.com, that's alanfib.com, or click the link below to get connected.
So the first deal for everybody not watching live is a pool service company in northeastern Ohio. And not only is it a pool service company, it is the premium service provider, the top service provider in northeastern Ohio, where John is located.
Oh, I love it. All right, can you zoom in a little bit? I can't actually see it.
Opening it up. There we go. Awesome. Okay. So to break this deal down from the numbers to start. So gross revenue, just under 2 million, with EBITDA coming in around 25% at just under $500,000. So 454,000. Cash flow SDE 554, which tells me that the owner's pulling $100,000 a year off this business. So decent. Established 1963, old. I didn't realize that northeastern Ohio had this many pools to start off, but apparently it does. And
yeah. Well, I actually talked to a guy, I want to say 3 years ago, and he was also based here in Akron. They were doing $5 million with 750 of earnings, and I mean, I had the same opinion. I was like, "What are you doing?" But it was a bunch of like college pools, high school, you know, like
YMCA,
like indoor pools, outdoor pools,
exactly.
Yeah, YMCA.
So
a lot of commercial accounts, which was good. There is a ton of residential work here. It's just that it's only 4 out of 12 months.
Yeah.
You know, which basically only the summer.
Is the cool part to this, right? Because the asking price is 3x. So this business does $2 million in a very, very short period of time. Like you said, so we're at a 3x of EBITDA, which is not bad. Does not come with real estate. This is what I found super interesting. It's been in your area for over 50 years. 8 employees. And they started off doing installations, building, gunite, all that kind of stuff, but they actually don't do that anymore. So this is 1.5 million a year, or excuse me, 2 million
just like
a year.
route-based
in
service
all
work.
Service and installation of like heaters and like actual repair and maintenance.
That's kind of interesting. I wonder why, you know, I'm just like thinking through this. I would imagine that a route-based pool service company is going to be like 80% gross margin. Like it's just chemicals, right? So the fact that they're only producing 25% net is a bit odd. right? Like, wouldn't you think it'd be like 50? Because there's going to be almost no cost of goods.
Yeah, but it's going to all be labor, I would imagine, right?
You think 50% labor or like 40% labor?
I think if you're running 8 people, which is what it says, year round, because it doesn't, it says a mix of commercial and residential, but there's no way that they're doing $2 million a year off of a 4-month season. So they're probably opening and closing pools. They're probably doing pool maintenance during the summer, spring, and fall. And then in winter, they're doing indoor pools, commercial, just like you said, colleges, high schools, indoor YMCA pools, things like hotels, right? Because like the hotel we stay at for Breaking 5 Million has an indoor pool. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. I actually didn't even know that. All right. Yeah. Scroll down a little bit. Let's see. Let's see. All right. I thought it said something about 2 businesses. There are two smaller competitors. Okay.
So like I said, this is the premium service provider in your area, John.
Amazing.
To go along with your premium service in HVAC, plumbing, electrical, drains,
See,
restoration.
I wonder if this is the company I talked to, because they were the largest in market, and now their staffing was crazy. So the guy that I talked to, $5 million, but what they were doing, which I thought was just fascinating, was half of their revenue was renting lifeguards. So their staff would go from like 10, 15 people year round, to like service these commercial pools. And then during the summer, they would go up to like 250 employees. And it was all these like part-time high school kids. And they would like rent lifeguards to your YMCA or your community pools or whatever. So that way these companies didn't have to like figure out how to staff, all these high school kids for like 4 months. Dude, so it was really interesting.
If that was me and you talked to me 3 years ago, I would have split these 2 businesses, right? Run one as a staffing agency and run one as a repair and maintenance and service business.
I mean, maybe that's what happened.
And then sell off the service business side, because the staffing agency, you're making that would be the difference between 2 and 5 would be $3 million in actually only 4 months worth of service a year.
Yeah.
So much easier business to run. But found this very interesting. I mean, the numbers are crazy. Considering, you're only running 8 employees, 80,000 in inventory. It reminds me of a lot of HVAC in the sense that, right, you're not keeping a ton of inventory on hand. You're keeping some pumps, some motors, some really light stuff. Then the rest is, like you said, chemicals. I don't know what they're doing with 13,000 square feet to hold that. It seems like an excessive amount, right? Includes inventory, shelving, service area, offices, conference rooms, retail space, well-known traffic. They probably just owned the building forever back when they were installing pools, would be my guess, and that they were able
that's my guess too. Because I feel like you could run something like this out of our rule of thumb was always like 1,000 square foot per million.
Yeah.
And so like you could run this out of like 2,000 to 3,000 square feet and like be totally fine.
Yeah, exactly. Which is 2 to 3 contractor garages, maybe 2 contractor garages that were right on each other that could store everything needed. When they say Northeastern Ohio, what is the size that kind of encompasses?
That's pretty big, to be honest. How about you open up Google Maps?
Yeah.
This is an interesting lesson in geography. And I think this is like this for a lot of cities. All right. So zoom in a little bit to like Akron. So Northeast Ohio is big. So, it'll cover from Akron to Cleveland. It'll go down to Canton, which is below. And it basically goes over to the border. So like Youngstown's an hour away from where I live, and we're both in Northeastern Ohio. There's some sections of Ohio that are like Amherst or something. And that's like an hour and a half from where I live. It's up at the top right there of Ohio.
Yeah, so I'm looking like right here. Yeah, it's a big chunk, right? So
it's a quartile of the state. It's literally Northeastern Ohio, and it covers 5 million people probably.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So when they say Northeastern Ohio, like it could be like 5 minutes down the road from where I live, or it could be 2 hours away.
Right. Now, that makes a lot of sense. I would assume that when they're talking about Northeastern Ohio, they're probably focused on Cleveland, Akron, Canton, area just because from a population density, it makes the most sense. But still, I mean, service work out to, Youngston or Warren would make sense as well for those big ticket items.
Yeah. What do you think? Like Chris Hoffman has his appliance repair business, and his appliance repair business, what they use it for, which I think is kind of funny. Like, one, it is profitable, like $8 million or something like that. So like big appliance repair business. What they're primarily using it for is it's super cheap LSA ads. So it's almost like arbitrage of lead flow. So he can get an appliance repair lead for like $10 still today in 2025 versus like HVAC is 80. Electrical, I think, is pretty cheap at like 50 or something like that. But appliance is $10. I remember when we first signed up for excavation, we were getting excavation leads for like 10, 15 bucks.
Which is
and that was like a year ago.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you could do something like that here where you grab this pool business and like the pool pumps and motors and all that stuff, like that could be plumbing. Like you could run that through a plumbing department. You could like use that to build. You could sell maintenance contracts. Like it could be stickier. And my guess is the leads are way cheaper for like this type of business than the primary business.
And the cool part about this, which I love, is and this is the interesting part which I found with all home service companies, is it's exactly the same. It is a maintenance, service, replacement model that you see in any other kind of plumbing business. You're maintaining the pool, you're servicing the equipment, you're replacing large pumps and systems for thousands of dollars. So it has a high ticket to it as well. And then, like you said, you can utilize it as a cross sale for multiple ways. And my last favorite thing about this is in terms of like grading, like the revenue per employee basis, right? When you're looking at like a plumbing or HVAC company, you're looking at about what, 300,000 revenue per employee or per truck?
Per truck, yeah. I like per employee, I think 200 is supposed to be good. We're at 200.
Yeah, so this is per employee, it's 250, right?
Yeah, and that's pretty nice.
So it's a nice per employee revenue statistic. And so I think that, as you mentioned, is if you're already running a plumbing company, you have to learn how to do route-based a little bit better, as well as commercial a little bit better, and then understand kind of the intricacies of maintenance on pool systems. But I love this business. I think that this one, if it was in my market, I would seriously have the conversation, just because I don't think that the competition is there. Like two small competitors to be able to pick up, I mean, 2 million at how many contracts? 100, 150, 200 contracts probably would be super interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder how big their route is. I think I'm kind of into it. I think I could see how it helps the whole. If I was focused on, like, I think part of the question is, what are you going to buy it as it is, or are you going to put it into a plumbing, HVAC, electric like platform? So for me, it'd be like, how does it benefit the whole? But for not everyone is that going to be the case.
Yeah, I mean, for somebody who's going out there just to buy a business, you're buying it's one of these like tertiary market things where you buy this business, there's not a huge growth potential. Like maybe you move down into Columbus or up into Dayton, but there's not a huge amount of competition. Like you said, LSA leads are cheaper. You're not working year round super hard. I would assume that it is seasonal. So it's one of these businesses that I think that, but not seasonal in the same way that HVAC is. I mean, it's seasonal in the way that it opens and closes. So you can actually plan labor out a lot easier than other industries. So I love.
Well, unless it's a bunch of commercial. What I do wonder is like people's growth strategy would matter a lot here. So, something that we've noticed, like we're prepping to go regional, we're prepping to buy in new markets. And something that we've noticed for us is like, hey, we have 5 business units. So plumbing, HVAC, electric, restoration, and drains. And drains has septic pumping, and restoration is water mitt. And obviously those two like don't immediately translate to like Pittsburgh or something like that if we were going to go launch a branch there. So I think it depends on how you're going to grow. Like, are we going to grow by taking our plumbing business and adding new plumbing locations, or do I want to stay inside one market, but I just need more density? And I think if you're doing that, I think this could make a lot of sense. Like, you could help the core business. Yeah. You're adding a couple of $1 million. You're probably adding a few thousand customers. Like, it will help the core business. But if you're like, hey, I want to go regional with my one business and I want to run like a holdco style thing, like, this probably would make less sense.
Yeah, because we have a company in our area called Lee Company, which is run by Governor Lee. Talk about fun competition. And they do stuff like this, where they do garage doors, heating, electrical, drains. They do facilities maintenance. They do just like everything you could think of in your house. They have a department that covers that. And so I find it really interesting how like the model of, hey, they do roofing. So like any kind of home service business on your house, they can touch it. And
that is interesting.
It's super interesting to watch them work. Just because, right, they have so much push and potential from being able to, like you said, with Hoffman, being able to pick up really, really cheap leads and then wrap someone into a membership program. And that membership program is so much more valuable because they have so many more areas of your home they could touch. So you really have a one-stop shop for everything. And good competition in our area. They're good competition. But either way, I love this business. I mean, I don't think 3x multiple is crazy for $500,000 in cash flow. I think that's kind of right along the lines, maybe a little bit high for a plumbing route or a pool route, but not like wild. I mean,
it's not terrible. I think, like, my usual rule of thumb for getting comfortable with the business this size is the purchase price 50% of annual sales. So in this case, it's 75%. So I'm not like jumping up and down, but it is an interesting deal.
Yeah.
I do wonder, like, the outside versus inside is probably such an important piece of this, because if it is inside, like, or if it's inclusive of outside work, like outside pools and stuff, I bet that out of 554,000 of cash flow, I mean, it could be like 500 of that happens in 90 days. So the way that you have to think about like cash flow planning can get, I assume, pretty complicated.
But also some interesting things to think about. If it is indoor pools, talk about mold remediation. Have you done any work? I mean, from a mold remediation standpoint,
dude, Cut and Dry does mold remediation. It's crazy. Yeah. Like we'll do like $20,000 tickets. Like, it's insane.
Well,
mold's a crazy deal
on those indoor pools. I mean, they're notorious for having mold and ventilation issues. So like, I feel like you could just keep adding on to like these big contracts where you get, a hotel that has now a huge mold issue because their ventilation system wasn't working properly. So now you have HVAC, plumbing involved, mold remediation involved, and you got the plumbing contract. So you're just hitting them from every angle.
I think this would be fun if you were going to like, I'm kind of interested in this idea of facilities maintenance or like commercial facilities management. I think it is interesting. I think it's sticky. I'm finding more and more people who are like higher net worth families that a big portion of they're keeping money inside real estate, and a lot of them are building these like captive property management businesses. Yeah. And I feel like this would be a killer addition to something like that, because it's going to get you to manage commercial pools, but it'll also get you into the maintenance of other properties too.
Okay.
But I'm seeing more and more like property management, like, hey, I own 10 million square feet of real estate. I also own this property management company. And like, it's kind of interesting.
So from the real question, from a brand new acquisition entrepreneur going out to buy something like this, 1 to 10.
I mean, I would say it depends a lot on how much of it is summer work versus year-round work. I think that is like a big, people should play easy mode, and 90 days for 80% of your cash flow is kind of tough. As a whole, I think I'm kind of into it. Like, I think I'm into it. I think if it's commercial accounts, I'm really into it because it's going to drive sticky relationships. You can go add a B2B salesperson. You've got the revenue and the cash flow to do that. You can go close on YMCAs, and you can go close on schools. And Like I could see how this could be a $10 million business if you really focused on commercial and like each new account was 50 grand a year. Like I think you could do it. And in Ohio, like there's more than enough pools to get to that number. So yeah, I think you can.
6 out of 10, 7 out of 10.
I think 6.5. Yeah, 6.5, 7. Like I could see it. I'm into it.
Sweet. Okay.
Like what do you think?
To be honest, I think I'm even a little higher than that. I think I'm around 7.5, 8. And maybe it's just I've been screwed up and mentally by HVAC multiples recently and seeing deals that are trading at like $500,000 for 8x. I'm going, oh gosh, it's terrible. But like this is, even if you get a little bit off on this, and you do have to worry about that, right? From a seasonality standpoint, you're hiring a few people. If you're hiring in the pool industry, they know the deal. Like they know that I get hired in the summer. I don't work in after summer for 9 months. Like those people who are working in the pool industry, they all know this. They all play by the same rules. So with that being said, and the thing about the seasonality here with this type of business is it's not like summer in HVAC in LA, 60 degrees. They are not expecting that. You expect every seasonality change here. So you can model that in like, hey, we can only spend this much in this month because we need to cut this amount of people and we're only going to get this much business. So whether or not indoor, outdoor, I think that this is a pretty good business. And I think that there's a lot of opportunity to grow.
I think so too. I'm into it. I'm into this one.
Sweet. If you're looking to buy or sell an HVAC or plumbing company, you need the best, not some generalist who just sold a Subway franchise last week, but you need the absolute GOAT of HVAC and plumbing M&A. And that's why I work with Patrick Lang at Business Modification Group. Patrick has sold more HVAC and plumbing businesses than anyone I know. He knows the buyers, he knows what the company is worth, and he knows how to get deals across the finish line. If you're an owner thinking about selling or you're a buyer looking for your next deal, Patrick is the guy to go to. You want him in your corner, click the link below or head on over to businessmodificationgroup.com/JQ and get on his newsletter for exclusive deals or sign up for a free deal review and see what a business is worth. Okay, I'm going to shift gears on you. I brought 2 today. So this is the second one.
I mean, I like the one in my backyard. Is the second one in my backyard?
I don't know, but you're going to like this one too. This one's wild.
All right.
So also, it is also in Ohio. It is in Franklin County, or it's Columbus, so not too far from me,
Columbus.
right?
Well, you're not. Yeah,
I know. I'm going to switch over.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to read the title. Established 221 ATM route, generating 424,000 of annual cash flow. That's funny.
How wild! This has to be one of the stickiest businesses too. No one switches their ATM provider. Right? At least I don't imagine that they do.
I can't. I mean, because to me, it's like nobody gives a shit nobody cares who the ATM like guy is.
Nope. How many people?
Oh my gosh.
So 221 ATM routes, right? They have some maintenance. You have to pick up money, drop off money. There's some risk there. How many people do you think are employed by this business?
Well, I don't know revenue yet.
Let me see if I can scroll down without telling you.
Yeah, is revenue for it? Oh, wow.
I can show you that. I can show you that.
No, I saw asking price. Yeah, I didn't see revenue.
So asking price, gross revenue is 530. So they make like 80% margins.
I mean, even before I saw that, my assumption was one person, like maybe 1.5 or 2.
Yeah.
I don't know what there is to do.
Pick up, drop off money, make sure it's not erroring out, which I'm sure there's a ton of now. There's a ton of online things that you can do and tie into this. And there's a bunch of stuff that you can watch for errors and make sure it's not from all remote. But yeah, so it is 2 people.
Oh, that's so funny.
2 people. So you want to talk about revenue per easy mode, revenue per person. It's still at about 215.
Yeah.
Or 275, excuse me. Give or take, was that 530? Yes.
I wonder how they did that. Like, Did you know, because you'll get on Biz by Sell and you'll see like routes of like one or two of these. Like, did somebody roll these up, or did somebody like go run a commercial outreach, like, let's go build a sales process? I'm really curious, like, how did you get to 221 ATMs?
That's what drew me. So I'm guessing that it took them a long time because they started in 07, right?
Yeah.
So they started.
That's a lot.
2 or 3 here, pick up 1, pick up 2 here with new areas. I don't know Columbus as well as you do. Maybe there's a bunch of new commercial like gas stations going in, high retail traffic going in, C-stores, but it's still wild to see.
That is.
And then the margin always blows me away. I mean, it makes sense because all they're probably paying is gas and maybe that software I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
I mean, yeah.
let me see if there's anything else that came across. Limited competition.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah. Potentials to add locations, no owner financing, they're retiring, and 90-day support, which I can't imagine. It's, hey, you open this up, you put the money in, and then you close it, and then you leave. We recommend you put 2,000 in the machine at a time. Like, there's nothing to this business. I love it. But that's the downside, is the asking price is wild. I mean,
yes.
So
so they're asking 1.484.
3.5x.
So they're asking 4x. Now, something I was thinking about it, 220 machines. So how much of that asking price is the equipment? Because I mean, those machines have to cost something.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's like $1,000 or something, what's 1,000 times 221? I mean, that's $250,000.
Yeah.
Like, so some portion of that asking price has to be the machines, just because that's a lot of machines. Like, if it was a vending route, the vending machines cost money.
Yeah. The other wild part, so to break down those numbers, so they're probably costing $2,000 a machine because maybe used machines, who knows. But
dude, someone's gonna buy the shit out of this.
That is each of those machines generates $2,400 a year on average. That's it.
Oh, interesting.
And
yeah.
And that means divided by, if it's a $3 fee, I mean, you're looking at, or times a $3 fee. No, divided by 3. That's 800 transactions a year, or 66 a month. So 66 transactions a month with people pulling out, $40, $60 here. Pretty wild.
Oh yeah, that is. I did this episode, and this was like 4 years ago on Owned and Operated, and we had a guy named Quinn. Oh, I don't remember his last name, but he was building like a big vending route, and I think it got like pretty big. Like, I think he got it to $1 million revenue, and like the margins were equally ridiculous, right? And it was a fascinating business. He did end up selling it though, and I think a lot of people were like, why? Like, you make, this guy's making $400,000 running ATMs. Like, that's the easiest job I could ever think. Like, why would you ever sell that for anything, right? Mm-hmm. And I think it was just a lot to manage. Like, 200 ATMs, each making $2,000, is a lot to manage.
Yeah.
Like, that's a lot.
And from a route basis, that route, my guess, is a few hours wide. But still, I mean, if you think about it, I'm thinking that each ATM probably has 2,000 to 3,000 in it, because based on that quick math, if there's 66 transactions at an average of $40 a transaction, which maybe that's way off, maybe it's $100 a transaction. I don't really use ATMs, so I don't know who's pulling money out of how much, but that's like $3,000. So $3,000 a month needs to stay in that machine. So you're driving to each of those machines. If you say the drive time to a machine is 30 minutes a month of work per machine, maybe more, an hour per month per machine. What do you think?
I think it's probably more like an hour per every few months, because I would be pretty surprised if a machine empties every month. Like, I would be surprised. But yeah, I mean, if it's an hour a month, then that's like, 200 it's 165 hours a month of working hours. So, 1.5 people to run a route.
Yeah, which he has 2 people working there. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's the case. My assumption is that's where most of that EBITDA goes, is to paying someone to replace money in machines, which is probably a son or a family member who wants some easy money. And then you take the rest as net, right? That net just goes into, or EBITDA goes into a pocket somewhere at the end of the year, because there really is no FF&E or any kind of capital expenditures other than probably keeping $10,000-$15,000 on hand to replace machines as they break.
Yeah. No, this is really interesting. I think this is one of those, I bet it's really good if all you want is cash flow. Like, this is a great lifestyle business, I think. Like, it's going to give you cash flow. No one in their right mind would want to run one of these at scale. Like, and maybe this is at scale, but like, can you imagine if there was like 2,000 ATMs or 20,000 ATMs across multiple markets? Like, that'd be terrible. And it would be for like $1 million of revenue.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be kind of it just doesn't like grow.
No, it stops.
But
here.
for lifestyle, this is sweet. I mean, 400 grand is a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, if you're talking about, hey, I'm going to make 400 grand net on my HVAC company, like, and I want to pull $400,000 out of the business. I can't do that in HVAC, even if it netted 400, that 400 goes back into the business for growth and marketing, whatever. But from an HVAC perspective, like, I would need at about a 10% to do 4.5 million in revenue. And like, the work that goes into generating 4.5 million in revenue is so much more difficult than dropping off cash once a week. Or once a month.
I think I've talked to you about, or I've complained at you about this, but there's some business models out there that run like at scale, like at 50, 60% free cash. Yeah. And I'm like, holy shit. Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, these guys will run like $1 million a month and like cash flow 600. And I'm like, this is crazy. So like similar lifestyle-esque, but not as, not as, like easier to scale. But I like it. I'm into it. Someone's going to buy this business. Like, someone's going to do this.
So on the debt service on that at 1.4 million, you're looking at.
That's going to be 20 grand. Yeah, it's 20 grand a month.
20 grand. So, I mean, half of that's eaten by debt service once you buy it. But it's also one of these businesses that really, outside of building relationships, and like, it's very hard to go wrong, I would imagine, because there's no, it's a negative cash cycle, in the sense that you really don't, like, you don't lose anything. Like, you're not paying monthly rentals. I would assume that there's just
usually there's, I mean,
they get a portion
Quinn
of each
described
sale.
it. They get a portion of it, or like maybe you pay $50, or a lot of people just do it for free for like vending. Yeah. I think that this type of thing, it's a very like, people start here, is my impression of this type of business, where, hey, I've never built a business before. I'm going to go buy a vending machine. I'm going to go buy an arcade machine or an ATM or something. I've read online that they're passive. They put it somewhere. They make, couple $100 a month, and they're like, hey, this is amazing. And I think it is. I think like, it's a good place for people to start. And I think that, like, similar to Quinn, like, he sold his and moved on to bigger stuff. I think you sell it and move on to bigger stuff. But I do think it's like a good thing to start. Like, I think it's a good way to start.
Or you just pull 400K in cash a year and call it a day. You don't ever sell it.
Yeah.
I guess, if you have to put someone else in charge of running it, I would assume that that's also a very hard portion of this, is like,
cash.
I have to trust somebody with like $200 or $2,000 times 10 machines or whatever route they're going to run that day. It's like, here's 20K in cash. I hope it all gets into the machine. Yeah.
You would definitely, I think trust would be pretty tough. Well, I know with vending machines, a lot of what they're doing is like credit cards now. And that like removes so much of that. Like, you can still have like a breakage from people stealing, like a Gatorade or something as they fill the machines. But that does reduce that problem. Laundromats too, they have credit cards to get rid of the whole cash problem.
Exactly.
Because I think cash businesses are like you will be stolen from, like, period.
Yeah. I like it more than like a car wash as well, because there's, or even a laundromat, because I don't want to collect quarters, man. I want to collect. You're actually not collecting any cash, which is the sad part too. You're only depositing cash, because the credit is what comes back to you. So it's an interesting business. What is your rating on this business? As a new buyer, I don't think it would SBA either, unfortunately. Even though
I
it's
don't think it
kind of
would.
a pretty safe
It's a
investment.
it's a cash cow. I think it at a different price, I would feel better. I think 1.4 million for. I have no doubt that it took a long time to build up 220 ATMs. Like I don't think I've ever seen one that big. But it's a tough. That's a lot of debt for just like ATMs. So I mean, I would feel better if it was like 800 grand, like 2 times, because you are buying a job at the end of the day. Like you're going to come in here and you're going to run that route. And like, it's a very well-paid job. Like you'll be super highly compensated, but it is like you're buying a job. You're not buying a business. And I think you just have to price it appropriately for that.
One of the most common and expensive mistakes that I see in acquisitions in the home service space is not getting serious about accounting. Whether you're buying a business or you're already running one, you need the right financial partner to save you time, money, and headaches. That's why we partnered with AppleTree Business Services. They are a one-stop shop that'll help you get through the due diligence process, but then they'll partner with you after to help you out with payroll and bookkeeping and taxes. They know home services. They're fluent in tools like ServiceTitan and HouseCall Pro. If you're tired of the surprise tax bills or an accountant who ghosts you when you really need them, AppleTree's the upgrade you deserve. Listeners of the show can get a free tax and financial review, and if you're buying a business, they'll give you 10% off quality of earnings. Just head on over to appletreebusiness.com, talk to Patrick, click the link, let them know Jack sends you, and they will take care of you. Yeah, I'm in the same spot. I think that I don't know enough about the risk of, I can't imagine.
How many times do they get held up at gunpoint, at some shitty gas station somewhere?
Or like, I guess my risk is more like, how many times do those break down? Like what really is the breakdown percentage based on age of the equipment? I can't imagine it's a ton, but maybe I'm completely wrong and they just are freaking walking nightmares to deal with. And then the second part that I don't know about is these are all in convenience stores and gas stations and places like that. So I would assume that the owner, and this is a big assumption, right? That the owner has a really good connection, knows somebody. Yeah. Because getting into 221 locations has got to be a really difficult task, as we've mentioned about 10 times. Yeah. So I would assume that there is some customer or vendor concentration.
There's something. There's relationship concentration. Yeah. Because that is definitely work. I mean, it's a lot of work to get into all those places. Like, and I would say the amount of work is also what makes this tough, because it's very real business development, but you can't really commission somebody. Like, what are you going to do? Like, how do you commission a full-time salesperson to drive around and pick up new spots for a route when that machine might only make a couple grand a year? Yeah. Like, you can't, like, what do? You give them $50 and like, you can't pay somebody. You can't pay somebody on that.
Yeah. The value of a new unit is still only $2,000 to $4,000. So it's a very low value. So to send somebody around with a low hit rate is going to be way too expensive. You'll eat up your entire year one cash flow.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's creative ways. I wonder if you could run like meta ads to be like, hey, you want to make an extra $500 in your business a month? Yeah. Check this out. And I'm sure there's a way to like reduce that business development cost, but that would be, I'm sure there's some relationship concentration. Yeah.
Relationship concentration. You switch vendors or you switch owners and then you lose 50 machines and you're like, oh, snap. Now I'm in trouble.
Yeah. So I think the business is funny. I think that it's crazy that they got to, hundreds of ATMs. I think that's like a hilarious business. I think it's going to be a tough sell.
Yeah, at the price. I'm on the same board. It's also a high, like you're saying, high risk. It's high risk for me because I guess I just don't know. I don't know enough. And so with a 4X price point, low risk of error here. If you mess up, it can actually hurt you pretty big. And you have to have 1.5 million in cash to buy it, or conventional financing, which is another pretty difficult thing to go out and find, and then pick up 20K a month in debt. So not my personal guarantee.
I bet this thing trades for like a 1x revenue.
I wonder how much regular ones trade. I didn't look that up.
You should look it up real quick.
Yeah, let's see if we can find another ATM route real quick just to see what
Share the
rats
screen.
normal.
Share the screen. I feel like it is like a 1 times revenue. I mean, they're asking like, 4 times revenue and earnings. Like, it's a lot.
It's a C-store for sale. Let me see. We're going.
Got some laundromats.
ATM route in Cincinnati. So this is what we're generally used to. So here's a great example.
So 14 ATMs.
What was that? Yeah, 14 ATMs.
Yeah. 22,000 net. So yeah, it seems like, so they're making 39,000 a year of revenue, 22,000 net. So like way less efficient. And you have to join a franchise for this. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's probably not real numbers. Let's see. Oh, let me actually get rid of something too. I'm going to get rid of Ohio here. We might cut this part. It's just me searching. I mean, here's another one, a 15-year in Fort Worth, Texas, 251 machine. So this is probably a lot more applicable, right?
That's interesting.
So
maybe
same
we're
revenue
off
though,
base.
like 220 versus 250, same revenue, or 100,000 less in revenue, 100,000 less in EBITDA, but about the same percentage. 3 people.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really 100,000 higher. Same time frame.
That is really interesting.
But what about the trade? So they're trading at about 4x of gross.
I mean, maybe that is market. God, that feels crazy. I mean, it's also asking, not sold, but it would be really interesting to know what these actually trade for. There's one in Jacksonville, 500,000, 1.4. Dude, maybe these things are priced.
Yeah, so this is closer, right? This is 209 locations with a gross revenue of 502 and with a 401. So you lose about 100 between gross revenue and EBITDA wherever
each
on
machine
all 3
produces $160 a month. That is so low.
Right?
Oh my God.
But I mean, when you think about it, a $3.50 transaction, like that's a decent amount of transactions. So like 160 divided by 3.5. I mean, you're looking at 45 transactions per month at, say, they're bringing 60 out of these ones.
Yeah.
You have to keep $3,000 in that machine at any point in time.
See, I feel like where this would...
So like at least they're all really similar and they're all trading. Like this one's a little bit trading a little bit less. It is only trading at like a 3.5 versus a 4. But still, I mean,
is funny.
That's 3 are all the same, man. So I'm going to say that it's trading at the right price, or trying to trade at the right price.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
297.
Texas has cheap 100K difference on top of the gross to EBITDA numbers, trading at the 3.5.
That's amazing. Okay, so we've looked at 4 of these deals. If you're not watching on YouTube, which you probably should, we found 4 other deals, same revenue, same asking price, same earnings. So yeah, I mean, I feel like, look, I'm not going to be the one to buy this. I think that somebody that could buy it, like, are you rolling up C-stores? Do you have a bunch of hotels? Are you a property manager?
Or John,
I would be.
You roll up all these big ones.
Oh my God.
And now you're in charge of 1,000, 1,500 ATM machines across 6 different states.
Each making $160.
Talk about
a month.
cash flow.
Oh my God. Yeah, that is a funny. Yeah, that's ridiculous. That is ridiculous.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you for listening today. It's good to have John in the house. If we completely mess something up and you know more about pools or ATMs than us, please drop comments in the comment section below. We'd love to hear it. Send us an email. Let us know that we are right on the money or we're big old dummies. Give us 5 stars wherever you listen. And thanks for listening. Appreciate it, guys.